Unit 7, Circles, Lesson 2, Arcs and Chords. Your objective for this lesson is to apply properties of arcs and chords to solve problems. Okay, so first up, our first property is that in a circle or in congruent circles, two minor arcs are congruent if and only if their corresponding chords are congruent. So you can see our circle here, and we have some chords drawn. Remember, chords have endpoints on the circle. And I could determine that if RS is congruent to TV, so if segment RS is congruent to segment TV, and remember these little lines over it means segment, so we're talking about the chords, then I can say that arc RS is congruent to arc TV. So that would be talking about this part outside here, these parts of the circle. Okay, and that goes the other way as well. So I know that if the arcs are congruent, then those chords are congruent. Okay, example 1. In circle K, arc AB is congruent to arc CD, and that's marked on here. So you can see the arc AB is marked congruent to arc CD. That's what these things mean. Find AB. We want to find chord AB, how long it is. Okay. So basically, since those arcs are the same, I know that the chords are also congruent. So I can take the measures of them and set them equal to each other, which is exactly what I'm going to do. 2x plus 3 equals 8x. How do we solve this equation? Start by subtracting 2x. So 3 equals 6x. Now we divide by 6. And x is 1/2. But of course, this doesn't say find x, it says find AB. Well, AB is 8x. So I'm going to say plug in this for my x. And 8 times 1/2 is 4. So I can say AB equals 4. Okay, 3 more properties. In a circle, if a diameter or radius is perpendicular to a chord, then it bisects the chord and its arc. You'll see a picture of this in a minute. In a circle, the perpendicular bisector of a chord is the diameter or radius. And in a circle, or in congruent circles, two chords are congruent if and only if they are equidistant from the center. Okay, so here's the picture for you visual people. Okay. So in this circle, it says if WZ is perpendicular to AB. So that's saying this diameter is perpendicular to chord AB. Then I know that AX, so the segment from A to where the chord meets the diameter, is congruent to XB. In other words, the diameter splits the chord in half. And arc AW is congruent to arc WB. So it also split the arcs in half. If OX equals OY, so we're talking about the distance from the center to where the diameter meets a chord. If those two parts are congruent, then chord AB is the same length, is congruent to chord RS. And lastly, it says if AB, so chord AB is congruent to chord RS, then AB and RS are equidistant from point O. So basically these two say the same thing but in reverse order. Okay, so let's do an example of this to make it a little bit clearer. In circle O, CD is perpendicular to OE. So my chord CD meets this segment at a right angle. And it says OD, which is a radius, equals 15. So let me label that on the picture. And CD, the whole thing, that whole chord, is 24. And we want to find OE. It's an X. Okay, well, since OE is perpendicular to CD, it splits the segment in half. Okay, whenever you have a right angle with a chord, you have two equal halves on the chord. So CE equals ED. Now, I can look at this right triangle if I know what ED is. Well, it's half of the chord. So each part is half the chord. So ED is 12. And basically, if it helps you, you can redraw this circle. We're looking at, not the circle, the triangle. We're looking at the triangle. With side lengths X, 12, and 15. Since we have a right triangle, we have two sides and we're looking for the third one, we're going to use the Pythagorean Theorem. I know that my C is always the hypotenuse, which is across from the right angle. So that's 15. So then I have x squared and 12 squared on the other side. Okay, so x squared is going to stay like that. 12 squared is 144, and 15 squared is 225. Now to solve for x, I need to subtract 144 from both sides. And x squared is 81. Now we're going to square root to cancel out the square. And x equals 9. So that means that segment OE is 9. And that wraps up lesson 2.